Mr. Piramal, thank you for joining us on Bloomberg Quint. To begin with, can you just take us through what the deal is about? Because you're tying up with Ivanhoe Cambridge, which is bringing in $250 million into India.
So we are tying up with Ivanhoe Cambridge, which is really the arm of a CDPQ, the large Canadian fund. They are bringing in $250 million, and we are forming a private equity real estate firm. We will put about deal by deal anywhere between 25 to 50%. So with this transaction, what happens is that we have the complete suite of products for any real estate developer. So we have now private equity capital that will come in. We already had construction finance, we had mezzanine structured debt, we have the lease rental discounting in commercial spaces, we have an apartment fund for residential, as well as now we've also announced that we're going into a housing finance company. So really the entire suite of products is now available.
So you're creating a new private equity fund for this particular purpose.
Correct.
And the initial funding will be $250 million from their end, and how much will be from your end?
So project by project, we would put anywhere between 25% to 50% of the project. The balance will be done by Ivanhoe Cambridge.
So they will have the option of going between 75 to 50 to 75%.
Yeah, it's a both. It's a partnership. We have the option, they have the option.
And you spoke about the fact that it's going to be equity funding of projects, or will it be at the company level?
It could be any. It doesn't necessarily mean. So we will look at each investments and then decide. But there will be more project funding than at company level.
You know, you mentioned about the fact that you'll be investing in top 4 or 5 metros, and you will be also looking at some tier 1 developers. Now, give us an idea of, currently all the entire real estate sector is going through such a stress. How many of those developers are there in the market? Can you give us an idea of, how do you define tier 1 developer?
Our belief is that when there is a crisis, it's only the best companies or the best developers survive. You've seen this across every industry, and you see this across real estate as well. Two major changes have taken place in the real estate environment. One is that the passing of the RERA, the Real Estate Act, has come into place, as well as the demonetization. So what has happened because of all this is that the top developers have actually, I think, will become stronger, and the marginal developers, the CD, will actually find it very difficult to survive. And why is it that? If you see, till now, till 1 or 2 years ago, you could actually start a residential project in any city in India without any equity.
True.
Because you could get a land, you did a joint development with some friend or the other, you could get the land there, you could get a design done for a building, sell the apartments on the basis of just design, then wait for approvals and actually fund your project with your customers' money, and hence your return was infinite on your equity. But things have changed since then. Few changes. One is that because of the fact that many projects were delayed, approvals took longer, and hence customers started feeling the heat. And you could have projects, I'm sure so many people who have got their houses delayed by 5 years, 10 years as well.
Still, more than 7 years actually in so many cases.
So many. And therefore, customer has become also very conscious that they only go for reputed developers and developers who have funding. And with the Real Estate Act now in place, you can't anymore sell a apartment on only plan. You need to have the approvals in place, which takes time, and then whatever money you get from your customer has to be kept in an escrow for that project itself, which means only developers who have a brand name will be able to raise the funding and will have the ability to do a project to get up all the approvals on their own funding, and hence only the A class. And actually that's the strategy we have been following for the last couple of years, even in our loan book. We only give to good developers who have a track record of delivering good projects into the community, and who have the financial wherewithal and have a good track record.
Will this also mean that you will be looking at affordable housing projects as well?
So for us,
residential affordable housing?
So for us, more important, the first and the most important is the developer who we are backing.
Yeah.
Whether that person does affordable housing or it does medium or high-end housing is second. First is who we are backing, and second, it depends on the project. If we in our own understanding think that the project is viable and the developer is good, then we would back it.
And what about the fact that you have always ensured that the shareholder, the stakeholder gets enough returns through it? What kind of returns are we looking at from real estate investment?
So we will get good returns on it. I cannot give you
High
a
teens.
number here.
You always looked at 20-21% on your
So
investment.
yeah, it has to be in this. It has to be in that region at least. Otherwise, we have a good partner with us, and we need to deliver to them.
And when you say equity holding, will it be a minority equity holding, or it will be you can go up to a majority one in some of the projects?
We don't have any fixed guidelines. We will see. It will be really after we invest the equity, it's a partnership between us and the developer.
And you're saying that will happen only once the developer brings in his initial equity, he gets all the approvals in place, and that's when you come in?
No, we may come in even before. If we feel that the developer is a class, we will probably come in before he gets all the approvals.
Mr. Piramal, you mentioned that this entire transaction completes the entire suite of offering for the real estate financing arm of yours. How big is an exposure to this entire sector for you?
So today our loan book that we have a real estate, we have some other than real estate loans, is about 35,000 crores. And this will only go up.
And you're seeing that environment now conducive for financing of real estates now?
We are finding that the environment has actually been good with us because of the relationships that we've developed with good developers. I think we see that it's a good, we've had good growth rates so far, and we feel that going forward also they should continue.
You mentioned that the entry would be into the initial 4 metros, right? Why not beyond that? Because there's a lot of opportunities which is there.
So we have, one is that we just understand this space better. We have been lending in these 5 metros that we talked about. We have a deep understanding of the subject. And when you get a new private equity player from Canada, it's important that we go in those areas which are our maximum areas of our strength, so that the probability of success is higher there.
And even if those tier 1 developers are moving into tier 2 with higher, bigger projects?
For the moment, we will restrict ourselves to these 5 metros. Also, you must remember that mostly developers, it's a very local business, real estate development, and those developers who have gone outside into many new areas usually have not been as successful. So we would also like to restrict to these. So it's the whole metropolitan region of Mumbai. So it's not only, I mean, it can be little in the suburbs. You go up north of Mumbai, it will be there. It's the whole NCR region. So there is enough space to do all.
Finally, so when is the first investment going to be made? Have you identified some of the targets?
No, we will. But you see, all the developers are always in touch with us because of our loan book. So I don't think it's going to take that long.
And you will be able to scale up this fund?
So we will scale it up. Again, I never put a deadline or a target to our people that you must, utilize these funds in a given time, because that then gives the wrong incentive for people to just complete projects and to strike off the time. That's not important. We have to look at good projects, and depending on it, as and when we can find them, we will execute.
Mr. Piramal, thank you very much for joining us on Melbourne. Thank you.